Yo, what's good, everyone? It's your boy Divine Sense Boxing back in the building, man. I know it's been a couple of months since you guys see me on the mic talking boxing, but your boy's been busy grinding, hustling, doing my thing out here, man. So I want to apologize for the people that either have been waiting for me or have been worried about me. Several people have reached out to me. Your boy's good, man. It's just one of those things. Life takes over, and at the end of the day, as I always told you guys, this has always been a hobby for me. So, I always keep an eye out. I pay attention, but I don't always have time to come on here and make videos. But I'm here now to talk about a fight that I'm very, very excited about. I've spoke on numerous occasions that this is a fight that I wanted to see, and as a boxing fan, despite who I think may or may not win this fight, I'm excited for this fight. Uh, but I don't want to make this a long, drawn out video, man. I want to get straight to the point and talk about it. You guys see the title of the video, man. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, massive showdown here in about a week now. So we're right around the corner. And this is a style matchup that you can't write a better script for. You know what I mean? It's just the boxing style that Caleb Plant has, and the quick hands and the combinations, and his defense is usually very, very sound, very responsible defensively. And then you've got David Benavidez, man. I mean, this dude is just relentless. He's like a machine. He just keeps coming. He can put combinations on you. He can hurt you to the body, and he comes to hurt you. He doesn't really have any other way except come forward and I'm going to take you out. So it is a matchup I mean, this is what you want to see. It's Pacquiao Mayweather. It's boxing versus a guy who comes forward and puts combinations together and tries to hurt you. So how could you not be excited about it? But let me go ahead and get my prediction in now that I've done the promoting side of it. Look, I can talk for hours about this fight and really break it down scientifically for you guys. I know you guys love that part, but perhaps I'll do like a live a day before the fight where I'll get some people to come on the panel and talk about it. But I'm going to keep it short and sweet for this video in particular, just to get it out there. One thing that stands out to me about this fight is they both have a common opponent. And we know who that is, right? Is Anthony Durrell. We know that they both beat Durrell, and they both beat him differently, though. And a lot of people shrug at that fight. Well, David Benavidez, he was a bit younger, and that was a better Durrell too. People, for some reason, from what I'm seeing on the internet, what I'm seeing on YouTube in particular, a lot of people discredit the fact that Caleb Plant not only beat Durrell, but he knocked him out cold. Like, y'all understand that they had to wake this man up off the canvas. The dude was laying on his back. You know what I mean? Like, and this is not a guy like that didn't box for like 4 or 5 years. The guy stayed active. The guy's was a legitimate threat. And I find it funny and ironic how a lot of people who are discrediting, not maybe not discrediting, but not giving Caleb Plant his just due for that win. I find that ironic because those same people were saying, "Man, I think Darrell stops Plant. I think Darrell's too experienced for Plant." See, but that's the way boxing goes, right? People don't stay true to their word, but it is what it is. I feel like that is a really glaring part of this fight. They have a common opponent, and both of those fights went very, very differently. Now I get it. Styles make fights and this and that, but we can't just chuck it up to that. There are some other things that I have discovered by watching those fights again. And I gotta tell you, man, I personally feel, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I personally feel that Darrell was doing good in that fight against Benavidez. Now, I may have Benavidez up slightly, leading up to the stoppage, but Darrell was putting in some work. In comparison to Caleb Plant, I think Caleb Plant in their fight had control of the fight. Yeah, Darrell had a few moments of rough and tough play and got some nice shots in here and there, but Caleb Plant was controlling the fight, leading up to the knockout. But in the David Benavidez fight, though, I think Darrell was 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 stepping to David, was mixing it up, was landing good shots. He backed up David a little bit, and I can see it being a very close fight up into the point of the stoppage. We know that Darrell wanted to keep going, but his eye was severely cut, and I think it was a good stoppage. I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean the guy's eye was just destroyed. Um, and it is what it is. But I think that we have to recognize that Caleb Plant put on a much more clinical display in beating Darrell. Not only was he in control of the fight on a boxing standpoint, but the dude like knocked him out, like like straight up knocked him out. And I don't think anybody saw that coming. I don't think anybody thought that Caleb Plant was going to knock him out like that. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a knockout of the year as well. Look, Benavidez did his thing against Darrell. I'm not discrediting the fact that he got Darrell a little bit fresher when David was a little bit younger. I get that. But to me, man, I just feel like Caleb Plant. See, here's the thing that people have to understand about pure boxers. People have to understand that boxers are used to this. More times than not, boxers have to face aggressive fighters, come forward fighters, flat-footed fighters. And I'm not calling David Benavidez necessarily a flat-footed fighter, but I'm saying a guy who's going to come forward and bring it and try to cut off the ring and stop the mover, stop the jabber, stop the guy who's trying to be defensively sound. Boxers are used to facing guys like that more in comparison to having like a proper chess match with another boxer because pure boxer is more rare compared to a boxer puncher or a brawler, right? So we have to take into account that Caleb Plant has seen more fighters similar to David Benavidez than David Benavidez has seen fighters like Caleb Plant. Okay, let's not get it twisted. At the super middleweight division, Caleb Plant is, top three for sure when it comes to pure boxing ability. I've never considered Canelo a pure boxer. He's always been a boxer puncher to me. With some counter punching ability, good counter punching ability. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a pure boxer. Okay, that's why he lost to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was a pure boxer. Um, and then you have yeah, at one point in time you had Billy Joe Saunders, who was a pure boxer. But you got to put Caleb Plant up there for sure, top two, top three when it comes to pure boxing ability. And I just don't think that David's, you know, at this level hasn't seen somebody like Caleb's ability. That doesn't mean that his aggression, his toughness, his hand speed won't be enough to stop the boxer and clip him and stop him. It doesn't mean that at all. I'm just throwing this out for food for thought. We have to think about these things when we talk about boxing, right? Because you guys know how Divine Sense boxing does it. I'm gonna give it to you in a whole different format, a whole new realm, a whole new phenomenon. I'm gonna take you to the matrix when we talk about this boxing shit. And I'm telling you, Caleb Plant has seen guys trying to take his head off so many times in his life, let alone in the professional ring. So my gut tells me, leading into a prediction now, my gut tells me that David Benavidez is going to be in tremendous shape. Probably the best shape that we've ever seen him in. Now, if you're Caleb Plant, you got to be thankful of that. You don't want David Benavidez to miss weight or have any other type of issue or complain later that he was weight drained or nothing like that. You want the best David Benavidez possible. And I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get a guy who, when I listen to David Benavidez talk about Caleb Plant, he's very convincing. I don't I don't think he like man to man, I don't think he fears Caleb. I think I've seen guys like Caleb likes to dance around and gab and whatnot, but I'm too strong, I'm too ferocious, I'm too tough, and I'm gonna get to him. I'm gonna break him down. I'm gonna beat him up, and I'm gonna knock him out. I believe that he believes in himself. Like, I believe that part of it. Now, will it come to fruition? That is yet to be seen. But I believe that we will get the best David Benavidez that we probably have ever seen physically, appearance wise, and I'm expecting speed. I'm expecting ferocity. I'm expecting violence from David Benavidez. He almost has to be honest. He almost has to. The way he's promoted this fight, the things that he said about Caleb, whether they're justified or not, is irrelevant. And the fight game, fighters talk shit all the time. So he almost has to come out aggressive, and I'm expecting it at a high level for David Benavidez. So what does that mean for Caleb Plant? You basically have to convince me that Caleb Plant is not going to be prepared for an aggressive David Benavidez. He's not going to be prepared for the best David Benavidez that we've ever seen. You have to convince me of that because I don't believe that. I believe that Caleb Plant is going to be fully aware of who he's about to face off against. And I feel like he's going to have a good game plan for it. And the way that I see this fight going is David Benavidez coming out. I see the first round being a feel out round. This is not going to be David Benavidez versus David Lemieux. Okay. Believe it or not, as much as shit that David Benavidez talks about Caleb Plant, he respects Caleb Plant. There ain't no way he's just going to walk in there and burn himself out and try to knock out Caleb Plant in the first round. I will be shocked if he does that. Okay. And I think if he does that, it'll be a huge mistake. I think he's smarter than that. I think he'll come out and try to find his range, try to slip some right hands over the jab if he can. See, just try to see if he can time Caleb, and just get a little bit comfortable in there. Caleb's going to do what he's going to do. That's what all boxers do. They're calculated. They're going to touch the body. They're going to touch the head. They're going to pivot. They're going to slide in and out. They're going to find their feet, their rhythm, and get into the flow. And then second, third, fourth round, I feel like David Benavidez is going to put a lot of pressure on Caleb. Caleb's going to have to clinch. He's going to have to shoulder roll. He's going to have to do some inside work. He's going to have to bounce off the ropes. He's going to have to feel the weight and length and hand speed of David Benavidez early. But I do see Caleb weathering the storm about round 6. And the jabs to the body, the jabs to the sternum, the check left hook, the counter right hands. Every time that David tries to step in and lean in, once Caleb times those step ins, I mean, let's be honest, right? If you don't want to call David Benavidez flat footed, because David Benavidez fans get upset when you say that, I want to say maybe he's not flat footed, but he's not the most athletic. Okay. He doesn't feint very often. Okay. He doesn't like feint and do something else. He doesn't have the greatest head movement, right? He's quite linear or lineal, excuse me. He goes forward, he goes back, sometimes side to side, and he's there to be hit. Go back and watch his fights. It's just that he's been bigger, stronger, and more ferocious than his opponents. That doesn't mean that he just like outbox someone because he's so defensively sound. He is there to be hit. Now, Caleb has proven that he hits harder than a lot of people thought that he can. And we can't just based off, and David, he drills at this all the time. Oh, look at my knockouts. Look at my knockouts. He ain't got knockouts like me. I believe that Caleb Plant has become a more complete fighter working with Breadman in his corner. He's sitting down on his shots more. I think shots to the body in the 6th, 7th round will start to take a toll on David. And he's going to start pot shotting David. He's going to start catching him as he comes in the inside because he's going to step in a straight line. And Caleb's just going to step back and boom with that right hand. Every time he reaches with that jab, he's going to go over the top of it and boom. He's going to check left hook. And when David tries to set his feet, he's not going to be like David Lemieux and just cover up, right? He's going to get that shoulder into him and he's going to uppercut to the body and he's going to tie him up. They're going to push off and he's going to start sticking that jab. Don't forget that Caleb Plant is a legitimate super middleweight. This is not a guy moving up in weight. He is also long, maybe not quite as long as David, but pretty close. He's long. He's shown toughness before. Yes, he got stopped by one of the pound for pound best fighters, but he got up. It's not like he was knocked out cold. And he took some hellacious shots from the supposed pound for pound best. Okay. But he's shown toughness in other fights. He's got hand speed, he's got combinations, and he's got boxing IQ. One thing that I've learned about boxing, talking about it and doing, being a part of boxing, rather it's coaching or working with the youth or boxing myself or speaking about it and breaking down fights for the better part of a decade. One thing that I'll tell you is that more times than not, the better chess player wins a fight. And normally, when you have two chess players sitting down to play chess, you have a strategic and calculated player who takes his time and already knows the moves that he's going to make 3 moves ahead of time against a guy who's going to play aggressively, move his knights into place and move his bishops into place and sacrifice his pawns to get in there and line up a kill shot, try to grab that king as soon as they possibly can. But then they find out because they don't have no pawns left. They lost the rooks. They lost a couple. They lost the bishops. They lost the queen. And he always relying on his knights. It's all he got left is his knights and the king. It's not enough because the calculated player is starting to move into the kill and he's got more pieces on the board. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I've learned about boxing. And I think that's what we're going to see on March 25th. That's my prediction, guys. I have Caleb Plant winning. Comfortable. Well, I'll take that back. I see Caleb Plant winning a tough fight, but a clear decision. I got Caleb Plant winning at least 8 rounds of this fight, clearly. I think David's too tough to stop. I don't think he's going to put him on his back like he did Darrell, but I do feel that Caleb Plant is going to put on a boxing clinic, and I think he's going to impress a lot of people. And that's just how I feel about it. At the end of the day, like I said, this is chess, not checkers. Skills pay bills. It's the thinking man's game. I just think Caleb Plant is going to have all the tools in his arsenal. He's always had the IQ, but now with Breadman in his corner, he's got a little extra spice to his game. So I'm looking forward to it. That's my prediction. Leave your prediction down in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe. Hopefully, I can get back into routine and get these videos popping, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out of here. It's your boy Divine. Y'all stay up, stay strong, stay positive. See you guys on the next one. Peace.